Okay, in this tutorial, we're going to start looking at making these feature bands that go around. You could use brickwork, but in this instance, because of their complexity in that, I'm going to make these as in-place little units. So these little balconies that go around the building. And you can see it's the same design that gets repeated on every floor. Okay, so in essence, I'm going to make an in-place family to drive these. So I'm going to make up a profile that I'm going to use to drive around the edge of these buildings. I'm going to make them quite crude to start with, and then I'll make them more complex as it goes on. So my approach would be, in this case, is to make, I'll use the one with the windows because it's got something to start. I've got a feeling that these, it's a false balcony, probably where they've hidden an aircon unit behind. So you don't want to see the aircon unit sticking out or an air duct. So you might find there's a little floor and it's got a little drip. So in essence, that's a little false balcony where you can put an aircon unit into the wall, for example. All right, so what I'll probably do in this case is I'm going to go and make an in-place model, and it will be a wall. Okay, walls 1. I'm going to set a level to work with, and I'm going to start in level 2. So I'm going to say level, let's set level 2, for example. Let's make it 3 because I've got the windows. Yeah, I've got the windows in place, and I'm going to say show. So this is the work plane that I'm going to use to drive these balconies, and it's going to start quite rough. So if I go back, the plans don't truly show this that well, and I know that there's a column going up here, so I'm going to drive it around the column because you might find they've used a little slab to tie into the column. So I'm going to use a column, go around, and tie it back into the building on the one side here. Okay, all right, because there seems to be some kind of step happening here, which is not that clear, and the offsets seem to be quite vague. So I've got a feeling that this is going to take a bit of trial and error, but the best way to resolve this is I'm going to use a sweep profile for this. So it's an in-place family, and I'm going to use a sweep. Okay, and I'm going to draw a path in which I want this to follow. So it looks like it sweeps. I'm doing this in 3D. I'm doing this rough. So I'm going to start from there, come out here. I can go to my top view. So let's just go to my 3rd or my 4th floor. Okay, I'm just going to start drawing. This is rough for now. Okay, because what's nice is I can come and adjust the path. This is just to kind of get the profile working. Okay, can go back to 3D view. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's just a good start, and I'm just going to say finish, and now I'm going to move where I want this to. So where the profile starts, I want to move where the profile starts. So let's say edit sketch, and I want to move where this point starts, so I can move it. I want to move this little point. So let's tab until I select this point. I want to move it maybe over there somewhere. Okay, let's just grab this point again in the middle there. Okay, so let's say that's probably where I want to drive my profile around. Okay, so I know that this profile is probably a 220 wall, which I looked at, and once again, I'm just going to do this rough because I can start. Okay, so this is my work plane. So this doesn't look that great if you're using the perspective view. So if you go to orthographic, it'll fix the view for you. And you can also, if you select the plane, you can go to viewer and you can see the plane more clearly over here. Sometimes it doesn't quite work, but okay, for now. So I'm going to use the exterior edge. This is very rough. I'm just going to say I want to drive a 220 wall with and what's nice is I can go DI. I can use some dimensions in here. So that's a 220. It's a 220 wall. Okay, I can use some dimensions. I've got a grid in here which I can use. And the bottom, Okay, so this detail I'm going to move up because that detail should be, and judging by the elevation, I've got a feeling that this might be 2 brick courses. Okay, and it might run on the slab, but that I can determine now. So this I'm going to make 1,500. Align to the underside. So let's say align to the top of the window. I just want to see what this dimension is, 950. So let's say 950, 950. Let's make it 850. 850. Because that ties in with 10 brick courses. And beneath the slab, let's make this 255 down. And maybe add 1 more brick course equals to plus 85. Oh, sorry. Undo. Because you want a bit of a drip at the bottom. Equals to plus 85. Okay. And then this, I can align this to this point over here and make this 155. So 2 brick courses equals to 85 times by 2, 170. No, 85. And I'm going to make this 50 deep or 25 deep, 50. Let's make it 25. Let's make it 50 to make it more pronounced. Okay, finish. Finish. Okay, so now it's created that kind of detail that I'm looking to create. Okay, now these I'm going to duplicate. I'll make it a group and I'm going to duplicate it up and down and assign it to each different level. Okay, so because I've got a sweep, I can assign that sweep to a different level quite easy. Okay, so what I need to do now is go to my elevation, south elevation. I just want to make sure that this is starting to tie up with what reset temporary height. And by and large, that does kind of work. I just see that the bottom level is not quite right because I think they wanted a 300 offset to those windows. Let's see, DI 340. So that bottom offset needs to be 300. Okay, so that's easy to fix. And then we can have another brick course. So you might have a brick sill, and let's see what the offset is here. 100. That works. So this detail I'm happy with at the moment. I think this will work well. I'll just have to fine tune of how it comes in and out, but that we can do quite easily. And what's nice is this will start working with my so there just needs to be a sill that runs along the top that we can also add in as well. So let's just go to 3D view. So I'm happy with this. Let's just go to edit in place. Here I'm going to go and say edit sweep, edit profile, and I'm going to say this needs to be 300. Okay, all right. I'm going to make it a 115. Okay, and that's starting to look a bit better. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to make this a group. Make it a group, group 1, and I can copy this. I can copy this from level to level. So if I went to south elevation, but I will make the same one around here, for example, and I've got a feeling that this is going to wrap. These stop here and it wraps right round. You'll find that this wraps right round here, and this you might find that this will wrap right round to this facade and stop on that side like that. Okay, because I've got a feeling it does it. But it's happening over here. It's doing the same thing on that side. So these, I'm just going to make them quite symbolic. All right, and now I'll probably have to establish how they're offset. So let's go and say edit group. I'll leave it as a group. I'm going to go and say edit sweep. I'm going to go to edit path, edit sketch paths. I'm going to go to ground floor. And let's go to first floor or second floor. Or let's go to third floor. Okay, so I've got a feeling that this is going to move probably more in line with that. So this dimension can be 115. Okay, I've got a feeling that's what it does. Or maybe it ties in with the column, so maybe let's do that. I've got a feeling that that's probably the case. And offset, so move this 115. I've got a feeling that this will tie into this column because it's got something to do with these floor slabs. And likewise with this, you might find this will also go to where this column is. Okay, move this 115. Okay, this dimension. So I've got a feeling this dimension will play in with how these work. So I've got a feeling that this comes in, let's see, DI. Let's go back to elevation. Let's just have a good look here. I've got a feeling that runs in flush. Okay. Let's do this again. Oops. Okay, let's just have a good look here again. I've got a feeling that these returns by, let's take a guess. I'm going to make this 150 from here. So DI, let's make this 150. And let's see what this dimension is here. Because then I'm going to make that dimension the same, 380. So let's make this dimension the same from this column over here. Look, we don't have the full details of this, so there's a lot of guesswork that has to happen here. So this one also, DI 380. Okay. And yeah, this seems to tie in nicely with what we're trying to achieve. Yeah, because how this wall comes back, yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Okay, let's just have a look. Yeah, I think for what we're trying to achieve, let me just switch this back to perspective so we get a better idea. And then I'll put the detail that sits above here. Actually, I've got a feeling that that's going to go up one more course. So let's do that. Edit in place. Edit group. Edit my profile. Yeah, that to me works a lot better. Yeah, and we're going to have a sill that runs around this. I'll do a little concrete sill that sits and travels around this as well. Okay, and we'll use a pick edge option for that and make it part of the group. Okay, but in essence, I'm quite happy with this. So if I, for example, went to my elevation now, south, and I copied this group from level to level, okay, what's nice is if I keep adding to the group, it makes the detail work. So my 3D view, and the reason why I want to do it like this is because it gives me more flexibility and more control. So I'm making it an in-place family and they're all inside one family. Okay, and this family you'll need to give it a good name. So this family, for example, so edit family, I need to give this a good name, this walls family. Okay, so you can go and name it in the walls. I'm going to rename it here. Rename and call this feature balcony. Okay, so these feature balconies, let's go back and edit group. This one I can go to elevation again, south elevation. Copy it down, and I'm always using my levels. Okay, finish, go to 3D view. Okay, now that's starting to look quite neat, and if I do the same on the other side, we're going to get some good results. And I've got a feeling here these floors probably stop underneath the slab here. The slab probably comes through, and these will make up the balcony. So this has actually worked out quite well in the sense that I know how my balconies at the top is going to be, and it's starting to make this look a lot better. Things are starting to, you can see here, this little tower comes up. That's going to be at the same level. So yeah, in a nutshell, this is starting to work out well because it's starting to give me some good detail, and the building's starting to come together. So I'm going to quickly put these balconies in. I've got a feeling that this will mirror on the side and continue around. I've got a feeling I'm going to take them all the way around here to there, up into this point here, and it's going to work with a column because they're using a slab. So there is a column in the wall there that I can pick up. I can see there's a line of a column there. So let's just go back to the floor plan. And there, there you can see there's a column. So they're using this as a structure to pick up that column. So that's actually worked out quite well. Okay, so this detail's worked out quite well. All I'll probably need to do now is make some slabs. So I'll need to adjust my floor slabs to work with this. Okay. And what I could do is make this a 220 wall worst case. Okay, so go to, doesn't matter, go to 3D view. This is quite easy to sort out now. And what's nice is if you edit one, they will all change because they're part of the group. So edit group, and I'm gonna copy this. Doesn't matter where you copy it to. Okay, I'm gonna go and say edit sweep. Pick the sweep, set path. I want this to be 3rd floor. Yep. So just say edit sketch path. Select all of these. I'm going to say set. I want this to be on my 3rd floor. Must be the same as the group I'm editing. Okay, and all I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust the path around the other side of the building. So I'm going to go to my 3rd floor. I've got a feeling this is going to go right around the building. Just like this. And I've got a nice offset to work with already. I'm going to create some more line work. I'm going to come back here, and it's going to terminate exactly at the same spot this other one did. Okay, trim, don't worry about that. That's easy to sort out. It will snap straight. There we go. Okay, so this line, I'm happy with this. So let's grab this from the face of the columns. That was 340. Just double check that dimension, DI. Sorry, 380. So that is going to be 380 to the face of the column. So once you've got dimensions, doing this kind of stuff is actually quite straightforward and easy. And because it's a group, it's going to do it everywhere else as well. That's the beauty. Face of the column. Okay, trim this, make sure that works, and that this aligns with this. Okay, this you just have to flip, so you can flip this So edit. Okay, select the profile and you just need to mirror it. Mirror is a vertical axis over there. Let's zoom in a bit. So let me do that again, sorry. Tab, mirror, copy. Okay. Oops. Okay, I'll see what's going on. Should have been on the second floor. So let's say edit sweep, edit sketch. That must be set path, set level 2. There we go. All right, so I'm not sure if this goes around the building. That's something that we'll need to double check. Okay, so this bottom one might be a different group because it might go around and form this balcony. I've got a feeling that this might continue around to form the balcony. So you might find that this balcony will keep running along and go around the building, go around. And let's have a look at the elevation. Anyway, so in a nutshell, I've kind of got a lot of the detail in place already. So if I just say finish, I just want to have a look at it from a details perspective. Okay, the building now is starting to take a bit of shape. And because the way I've created these as an in-place family, to go and change them on the fly gets quite easy. So let's just go and look at the south elevation again. Okay, so this balcony comes and terminates there and then goes around. So this is going to be a different group to the rest. So we can make that group unique. Okay, and then this balcony will come around. I've got a feeling that it's going to terminate. So this balcony will come around and terminate. You can see this detail goes around. So I've got a feeling that this will continue around like they've shown it here. I might pull this side in a bit because there's no windows there. So technically it might, I'll see. Maybe we terminate these halfway. We can make an assumption there. Unless they terminate on the side, I've got a feeling that they might go around. That's hard to determine because I don't have access to the other side of the building at the moment. So and because we don't have proper elevations, because here it looks like this detail continues around. So I've got a feeling that this probably continues around that facade. Probably wraps around again on the other side, probably terminates at the same place. So we might have to make a call. So that's a bit of an unknown. I'm going to leave it as is for the time being, because that's starting to work. Okay, and then we'll adjust our slabs a bit later. But I've got a feeling this one will run and terminate into this wall over here. So that will run, follow the same, and then just terminate. It will follow the edge of the slab and terminate into this wall. Likewise with this bottom one. So let's go and say edit in place. So I'm going to say edit group, and I'm going to say duplicate and make it group 2. Okay, so it's no longer part of these groups. So if you change, it's just a different group. So I'm going to say edit group. Okay, I'm going to go and say edit profile. Go to first floor, sketch path. So this one, for example, Okay, so that profile might have to terminate a bit sooner. I can extend that pass. It depends how they've made that look. I've got a feeling that I might extend that pass and tie it back into the column like they did previously. That's probably how I would do it. So I'm going to edit this path, so I'm going to go back to ground floor. So I'm going to create, so here's a column here. I'll take a faster column, create similar. So I know this is going to be slightly different to the facade. Let's just have a look at this other view again. So this does oversell a bit. Yeah. So I'm happy. I'm happy with the way this looks, and I'm going to use this column again on this facade where it comes past, because that would make a lot of sense to me. That termination would make sense. Okay, that would make sense. Just make sure that this dimension's correct. Yeah. Okay, finish. Finish. Oh, finish. Okay, 3D view. Yeah. Likewise with this, let me just go back to my west elevation, because I don't think when they drew this, they didn't give this much consideration. So I've got a feeling that that will return past that column, because that would make sense to hold this. So let's just go and say edit sweep. So let's go to first floor again. And again, this one I'm going to sketch path, pull this back, and then terminate this. I can use my offset tool, 115. So offset from there, trim this. That would make more sense to me. Okay. Remember to the column face, so it would be 380 as well. Okay. Get some shade going. So we can start playing with the materials. So this is starting to work quite well. Okay, let's go to ground floor. View. So this is really starting to take some shape now. And once I start using the correct materials, for example, so for the wall plaster material, we can start changing. I can start adding some materials. Okay, but if I'm starting to look at this now from this is starting to work quite well. So the shadows are starting to work, and the ground floor is starting to work. So here I'll just need to incorporate the same kind of detail I've done there, but that's pretty straightforward. These columns, these little stubble here, some floors on the outside, so that's going to work, and I need to start working on those details. But if I'm looking very roughly, I'm starting to get the same. Things are starting to come into play. And then we can put this detail around. That will also be an in-place detail that I'll do to make these things work correctly. Okay, I'm quite happy with how this is working. And from this side of the building, I don't know if these things will go around. They might terminate on the side, but we don't know what's going on this side. So for me, this would make a lot more sense. Okay, from this side of the building, I think we're starting to get a nice building in place. So we've got these in place. So all I'll probably do now is just add another sweep to them, just so that I can put that. It looks like it's got a little lean-to. So let's do that very quickly. And that's going to be, so the beauty about establishing these kind of things is edit in place. So I'm going to go and say edit group, and so here in this group itself, I'm going to go and create a new sweep. But this time I'm going to use pick. So I'm going to pick the top of these edges. This is quite powerful. And then this I can just copy as well. I can copy and paste it and edit it as I need and see fit, for example. Great. Okay, I'm going to go and edit the profile. So finish, so edit profile. So I can go to viewer now. I want to view this profile. Okay, this switches to orthographic. These things don't like to work in. So in essence, this is it's going to be a little, and I'm not too worried about the exact detail right at the moment. So generally how they work this line will be, this is usually about 50 mils. Okay, let's get rid of this for now. That's usually 50. Okay, and the back of this is usually 75, these concrete sills. And you want the water to run in this direction. You want it to run off. I think let's make this back. Depends on these things, 60. Let's make the front 35. It's a little concrete sill. You want this to offset from the edge of that's usually about 25. And you want this to offset from the back of the wall. So this line I can grab to the face. That's usually about 25 as well. These little sills, and then I can draw the last bit of line work. Okay, finish the command, finish. Undo. Pick path, I'm just going to remove because I think it's got a problem going around the corner. And then finish. Yeah, finish. Okay, so you might find that gets built into the wall there like that, because it can't sweep at such a small radius. Okay, but that's fine. You can make that a standard profile that you can bring in later. Okay, if you want to move where this thing starts from, you need to grab it and pull it to where you want it. Okay, I'm just going to grab finish, and I'm going to select a profile from here. So I'm going to say profile. I'm going to copy the other profile. I'm just going to make a rough one for now. Okay, so go to this guy, edit sweep, profile. See. Finish. Okay, so there we've got our profiles, and what's neat is I can grab each one of those, Control C, finish. Okay, so now that I've got these profiles, I just have to fix this top one and I'm good to go. So here I can just go and say I want to edit that. Okay, so here I'm going to go and say edit. I'm going to go to create, sweep, pick path, that. And you just got to do this once and it'll work fine. Okay, finish, and then edit profile, paste. Okay, I should have made the profile and loaded it in, but in essence I'll just have to copy that profile. Doesn't really matter. It's quite easy to do. That'll do for the rest of them. Just remember, I want to go and grab the bottom one, edit group, edit sweep, edit profile, Control C, finished, finished, edit sweep, edit profile, press cancel, cancel, edit group, edit profile, profile, paste, move that to snap end. This viewer sometimes works. It's supposed to work, but for some reason it just doesn't want to work at the moment. So I can just go to back. So I'll make sure I can get that profile in exactly. So move, 25, move, back, done, done. Okay, something's wrong. Can't make sweep, why not? That's it. There we go. It's updated all of them. is that? See what's happened. There was two sweeps over each other. That was my doing. My apologies. So that had worked. Okay, so that's working well. Let me just edit this one very quickly. Sweep, sweep, pick path. I'm going to add one more. Okay, so that's worked a lot better. Okay, so that's worked well. So what I'm going to do in this one, I'm going to go and edit group. I'm going to Control C, go to this group, edit, finished, edit group, paste. Okay, so this one I'm going to go and say edit sweep, pick path. So here I'm going to, so what I'm going to do here is delete all of these, and I'm going to pick just one more new path. The bottom one I've got already. So there, 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 there. This is fairly quick. And there. Just make sure that the profile's in the correct direction. Depends where it starts. Sometimes it doesn't like to. There we go. Finish. Done. And then they're all done. Okay. So we've got something that's working well.